when it was found that gold mines are there in the Klondike region. Um, it is the region of the Yukon River आणि असं असं म्हटलं जायचं की त्या हा जो एरिया आहे somewhere on the borders of Canada and USA, that there were gold mines, and there started a gold rush. People were going there in search of gold mines. Some succeeded and some failed. Now, this is the background for our short story, uh, To Light the Fire. Now, the first important aspect of a short story um, that we should first try to find out or understand is the characters of that particular short story. मग त्या कथेमध्ये पात्र कोणते आहेत? ओके, द कॅरेक्टर्स. Unless and until the characters are there, the story cannot go forward. The story cannot run. Okay. So here are only two characters in this story. It's a great short story again, but there are only two characters. One is a man, unnamed man. There is no name used for this man anywhere in the story. तो जो माणूस आहे, पुरुष आहे, बेनाम आहेत. त्याचं कुठल्याच प्रकारचं नाव कथेमध्ये कुठेही दिलेलं नाही लेखकाने. This man is going to his camp, and in the course of the narration, in the course of the story, we come to know that he is going to the camp where his friends are there, whom he calls boys. So whenever he thinks about them, he calls them in his mind as boys. So those boys are there at the camp, and this man has started journey towards that camp uh, through the trail, through the route of the Yukon River. Okay. And the second character in the story is not a human being but a dog. The man has the dog with him, and they are going to their place. And there is a third character. It is just mentioned. That character never appears in front of us as readers, but just is repeatedly mentioned, is that of an old man who had warned. एक म्हातारा माणूस आहे आणि त्या म्हाताऱ्या माणसाने हा जो कथेतला आपलं जे प्रमुख पात्र आहे, कॅरेक्टर आहे, अननेम्ड मॅनचं, त्याला इशारा दिलेला आहे की यू शुड नॉट गो अलोन इन सच अ टेरिबल वेदर, की अशा भयानक हवामानामध्ये, ऋतूमध्ये एकट्या माणसाने जाऊ नये, कोणीतरी सोबती असावा. सो दिस वॉज द advice of that old man to this man, whom we will call as the protagonist of the story. When the story is there, the most important character or the central character of a story is known as a protagonist. ओके. मग या कथेचा जो नायक आहे आपल्या भाषेत, त्याला तांत्रिक भाषेमध्ये प्रोटॅगनिस्ट असं म्हणायचं. Protagonist. The pronunciation is protagonist. So this protagonist is the man who is going to his place with his dog alone. So these are the two characters. Now let us talk about the second important aspect of the story structure. The second important element of the short story, that is the setting, locale, or the place where it takes place. So it is not just the place, the geography, but it also includes the weather. And here it is very important in this short story. As I had already mentioned, that this story takes place in the Yukon Trail, the route of the Yukon River. The weather is important because it is the terrible winter when everything is frozen in America, okay, in this part. And the river is not visible now because it's a frozen river now. Ice is there on the river surface. Somewhere under that ice, the river, the water is flowing, but the ice is there on the water surface. And now the whole area is full of ice. Everything is frozen. And the atmosphere and the temperature, is below 75 degrees Celsius. Now we in India, we can't imagine this much of cold, but it's the terrible atmosphere of America. So it is also the setting of the story, the weather. And in this terrible condition, in this cold, severe cold, the protagonist is going to the camp. Camp, his destination, the place where he wants to reach before night that day. He had started his journey in the morning and he wants that he should reach his place before darkness, before night. And who is with him? Only his dog is with him. So he is going. Another important aspect. Now, this is the characters and the setting. Now, up to this time, you might have got an idea about the conflict in the story. The next important part of element of a short story is the plot. Okay, and the plot has again sub parts like elements like exposition, mm, conflict, the rising action, then the climax, and then the final falling action or a denouement, and the resolution. So in this discussion we come to know that there is a problem. And what is that problem? The terrible weather, severe cold is there, everything is frozen. And in such a weather, a man is going somewhere. And the problem is that he has to reach that place before the night falls, before the darkness is there. That is the conflict. That is the problem. Now, in the next video, we will continue the discussion and we will see what happens to this problem. What is the rising action? What is the climax? And what is the solution? What happens at the end of the story? Thank you.